Let's just go over some of the features of release 0.00172, some of which I've covered off before, but just to run through the final checks. So the sync can now be reduced to 0 because the server updates happen down here. This is the server icon, will go green when it's checking. It's set to 30 seconds. I've done some testing, and it also will not run into itself, so it'll only allow itself to run once. In terms of the map, now resizable in the browser. As I said before, if it expands out to 100%, some of these icons sometimes don't work in the Microsoft browser in the Flight Sim, and you need to refresh. Messages, there are some hidden messages in there. Took away unlimited. You can type in .u if you want, and that will change to unlimited. Recommend that you keep it down to 500 to 1,000 nautical miles, just from a performance perspective. It means there's less refreshes going on the screen. There are also some hidden pieces in there. Some don't work very well. Turn on top toggle. Little nav map worked well in Chrome, doesn't work so well. There's a site called VAC glasses which will load up. You can get and set your settings from there as well. One of the new things on weather is that there's a pop-up occurs immediately. You make a request and it appears down here as well, so you can remove it. The same with airport weather, as I showed before, so that pops up and will now open. So a number of pop-ups going on. Distance, I say remove the unlimited config. I was going to remove the large font, I've left it for the moment. And the about, you can get your version control and also see your key from that as well. That goes off to the server. Not a lot happening, as I said up here. These refresh in the background now. Down across the bottom, not a lot. This, obviously mentioned before, has a indication as a rollover as to what's going on the filter. These two, there's been some issues with this, and it's more simulator and aircraft related. Sometimes the swap radios and set radios are not working in certain aircraft, and this may take a while to update. I've also changed it so you can actually click on the frequencies, the frequencies and descriptions. Mentioned across the bottom, pin stations now works and they go red, and also the ability to turn on and off station updates. And there's a setting in the config which will allow you, if you go across to messages and type in .s, there's a setting which says show deleted stations. If you want to see deleted stations, you can set that to 1 in your config.ini. We'll just do a quick refresh if there's anything out there, and you can see what happens. Just be our luck, there's not a lot happening. There we go. So Porto is now online. Click on there. You also get their frequency. I'll probably add a few more things like the ability to add new stations to your pinned list. Got to look into how to achieve that. As I said, you can click on there, get an update, and you can see these are coming in. It will show you worldwide, but it will only update locally. So if you're actually going somewhere outside of your range, you can see it. These come in as multi-messages as well. That's probably it in terms of what's there, but there's a lot of fixes, as I ran through before. So effectively, this release will hopefully be one of the last before we give it a rest for a while and come back at some point and start adding in things like aircraft.